Okay, let's make sure everything's working. Okay, let's make sure everything's working. All right, we're good and we're ready to go. What's going on, guys? It is your boy Malin. Welcome to part 2 of the Madden 25 Green Bay Packers rebuild. Last episode, the first one, we did not make the postseason, but we did finish with a winning record of 9-8. That was really because our division was very competitive. Really, it was all 4 teams had a legitimate chance of making the postseason at one point during the year. I think the team that finished 4th was the Vikings, who finished 8-9. So they were one game worse than we were in terms of record-wise, but they did not make the postseason. But the Bears and the Lions made it. So we've done an offseason where I was able to make a lot of moves in free agency, some good moves. We had a lot of cap space. I was able to create even more space with restructuring of some contracts of players. So this is what our roster is going to look like going into year number 2. Jordan Love is still our starter. Malik Willis is still his backup, but we did sign Kyle Allen to be the backup for him. But Kyle, I'm sorry, you are not going to be wearing number 4 because I'm pretty sure that number 4 is unofficially retired. That is Brett Favre's number, so you're going to be wearing number 5 for this season as our third-string quarterback. Running back-wise, Josh Jacobs is up to a 93 overall. That's 1 point better than he was last year. We still have Lloyd, Brooks, Johnson, and Wilson. Jalen White is a new running back in the room. He was our last pick of the draft. 64 overall starting out as a rookie is not that bad, but who knows how impactful he'll be. We did get a massive upgrade at fullback. Patrick Ricard, 8-year veteran. I think he's only here on a 1-year deal too, but 83 overall fullback. That's a pretty good upgrade. Receiving-wise, we did get an upgrade here in DeAndre Hopkins. He's only at 80 overall, but I feel like getting another 80 guy in here was pretty good. I was thinking about going after Amari Cooper at first, but there were a lot of teams that were offering him huge money, and I just didn't know if I wanted to spend that much money on a receiver who wasn't going to be super duper much better than what we had. So I went with Hopkins. 12 years. He's on a 2-year deal with us, and he realistically could retire after this season or the next season, depending on what he wants to do. But we got young receivers, but I wanted to bring in a veteran in Hopkins to really give us some experience because we got a lot of receivers that are young and still have a lot of developing to go. So that's our receiving core. Kraft is still our starting tight end. Musgrave is going to back him up. We did sign John Bates as a third-string tight end as well. Walker is coming back. He's coming off of a significant injury, actually, that kept him out for most of the season. But our 81 left tackle is back. We got Charles Leno to back him up. Elgin Jenkins is still here, and we signed Lyle Collins to be his backup. We got an upgraded center with Ryan Kelly, 9-year pro out of Alabama. 83 overall. He is on a multi-year deal. I don't know how much longer he'll play, but this was definitely an upgraded center that I was really looking for that I feel like we needed. So he's going to be our new starting center. We did draft Josh Kreutz out of Illinois. So hopefully there's going to be some development there, and being behind maybe somebody like Ryan Kelly will help with his development. And we have Jacob Mung as the third center. Right guard, Jordan Morgan at 7 overall. Ryan and Miles Frazier was one of our draft picks. And we also drafted Reed Hulsky. We drafted 3 offensive linemen in the draft this year. None of these guys are going to start first year for us, but I feel like depth is always good to have on the offensive line, especially if you draft them young and you can develop them. Gary is starting left end once again, and Lucas Van Ness. There was a guy that I was thinking about signing that was a 76 overall, but looking back on it, it really wasn't that much of an upgrade over what we had in Van Ness. And there was really no defensive end out there that was in the 80s in free agency that was interested in coming here. I could have gone with somebody, and here's the thing with free agents. Like, if the bar is in the red, number one, they're really not interested in coming here, and the only way you're going to get those players to swing in your favor is if you offer them way more money than anybody else is offering them. And that can really put you in a hole, I feel like. I've done that in a couple of rebuilds in the past, but I decided to go ahead and draft somebody. So we drafted TJ Tuamalo out of Ohio State. 74 overall starting out as a rookie is not that bad. I don't feel like I'm going to keep Van Ness long-term, so I feel like Tuamalo can develop a little bit behind him in the first year or two and hopefully take over as the starter one day, and we still have Cox as the third stringer backing him up. Kenny Clark actually made the Pro Bowl last year. He is one of our captains, 83 overall defensive tackle. Wyatt is going to back him up. We picked up the fifth-year option on him. Left outside linebacker, we did get an upgrade in Preston Smith. I think he might have been a Packer at one point in his career years ago. I might be wrong about that. But 75 overall left outside linebacker, we absolutely needed to get an upgrade over there. There wasn't anybody in the 80s, but there were a couple of guys in the high 70s. So I decided to go with Preston Smith. It really didn't take a lot of convincing. And I think he's only here on a 1-2 year deal anyway. So he's going to be our starting left outside linebacker. But we did draft Jamon Dumas Johnson out of Kentucky. So with Preston Smith being only here for 1 to 2 years, I do feel like that Dumas Johnson hopefully can develop and take over as the starter maybe one of these days. Cooper is still rehabbing an injury. He's 84 overall, and he had a good rookie season despite missing a bulk of it. But he's, once again, our starting middle linebacker. He's our best linebacker on the team. And we got Landon Roberts to back him up, 77 overall. Quay Walker is 82 overall. He will once again be the right outside linebacker starter. Hopper and Jalen Walker was another draft pick out of Georgia. Coming in at 70 overall, that puts him right on par with Hopper. So if Walker develops a little bit more, that could be an idea to maybe move him to left outside linebacker. Alexander is still here, 93 overall corner. We did get some help. We did sign Stephon Gilmore. I was looking for a corner in the 80s, but Gilmore could maybe get up to the 80s. I know he's, old as hell, 13 years in the league. But I figured getting some of that veteran leadership in here could help out. I decided, at some positions, I think it'd be good to get some veteran leadership. So bringing in somebody like Ryan Kelly at center, DeAndre Hopkins at receiver, and then Stephon Gilmore at corner, I feel like will help out with some of the young players that we have. Because overall, this is still a very young team that still has ways to go in terms of development. And we still have Bullard, who actually has gotten up to a 70 overall. He could be in the 80s club by this season. That's what I'm hoping for. Strong safety, Xavier McKinney, who is our second highest rated player behind Jacobs. He tore his ACL in the second to last game of the regular season. We, of course, did not make the postseason, and that was pretty brutal. I'm hoping that he's going to be ready to go by the time the regular season begins, but hopefully that'll be the case. I'm going to look at the injury report and see how much farther him and also Cooper have to go, because those guys, I guess, are still nursing injuries from last season in the offseason. And hopefully it's not a long-term issue. Oladipo, and we also drafted Jalen Catalone from UNLV as our back as another strong safety. We re-signed Brandon McManus coming off a Pro Bowl season, and we signed Ryan Wright to be our new starting punter. So there's a few new faces, but we didn't really sign any bona fide big-time starters other than Preston Smith, Ryan Kelly, and Stephon Gilmore. Those are guys that we signed in free agency who are guaranteed starting jobs. But overall, the team still really looks the same at its core. And as far as injury reports, McKinney is still going to be out for 6 weeks with an ACL tear. So he's going to miss the whole preseason and training camp, which is brutal. So he's going to miss 4 weeks of camp. So, yeah, he won't be able to play until we get 2 to 3 games into the season. Cooper is still nursing a quad strain, and Jordan Jones, one of our backup corners, has a dislocated shoulder. So we're starting off kind of on the wrong foot. I'm hoping that McKinney can be as good as he was when he was healthy when he comes back. So the big thing is that during the preseason, some of the younger guys are going to get a chance to play. But we got blown out in our first preseason game against the Steelers, which doesn't make me feel any good. And then we're playing the Ravens this week, and we lost that game as well. So far preseason has not been very kind to us. And now we go on the road to play Buffalo to wrap up the preseason, and we lose to the Bills. So we went 0-3 in the preseason, which doesn't make me feel very confident moving forward. But hopefully regular season is a different animal. McKinney is still going to miss the first 3 games of the season. So he will return basically by week 3. So after we play the Vikings and Browns, it looks like that's when McKinney is going to be ready to play. Starting off on the wrong foot here, especially with trying to get this team into the playoffs. We were close last season, but ultimately we just weren't good enough as some of the other teams. And I'm going to go ahead and move Wilson to the practice squad. And I'm going to move Dylan Johnson over there as well. Got 4 running backs active right now. I Probably like to keep 4 of them. 6. I'm going to go ahead and move Griffin over to the practice squad. Trying to be better about like not really cutting players unless there's no practice squad option. Don't have a whole lot of depth on the offensive line. I mean, we could move Monk. I'm going to move Monk over to practice squad. Don't want to risk putting Frazier over there because I feel like somebody is going to pick him up. But right tackles, we've got a lot of those. Move Telford to practice squad. I'm going to do the same thing with Glover. We have 2 tackles active right now. It's on the right side. Cox, I'm going to move you to practice squad. Defensive tackles. We got 3 active ones, so I'd like to keep 3 active. And I'm going to cut Kyron Johnson. Really hasn't developed at all. Hopper, I'm going to move you to practice squad. It's Jalen Walker. I think he's playing to him as the second string guy. Let's see, how many corners do we have? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 corners. I'd probably like to keep all of them active if we can. Of course, McKinney is still on IR, so we won't be able to do anything there. We do have to make another cut. Probably go back to running backs here. I'm going to move White to the practice squad. Hopefully he doesn't get picked up because he's a rookie that we drafted. I'd hate for him to be picked up by somebody before he even plays down with us. So here we go to the regular season. Fortunately, nobody has signed anybody from our practice squad yet, so that's good. Let's go ahead and get the draft class in here. Let's get the 2026 class in here. Parker Jones. Yeah. Accurate class. Or decently accurate, I should say. All right, so we're starting out with, one of our best players on IR, but he'll be back for hopefully the Bengals game. So let's say late to the middle of the season, see where this team's at. Started out 5-2 last year. Hopefully we're around the same. And we are 7-0. Wow, what a start to the season. I guess it goes to show you can have the worst preseason and then you can start out very well. So, wow, even with not having McKinney in the first few games of the season, we are undefeated at the midpoint of the season at 7-0. We are far in front of, wow, okay, this year is ours to take for the division because both the Bears and Lions have gotten off to a horrible start at 1-6. The Vikings are the only team that looks like they are capable of catching us, but we started off this season in way better fashion than I could have even predicted. And we have no injuries, so nobody's banged up or anything like that, so that's great. So I guess inserting McKinney back in the lineup really helped us out. And we have minus 30. Are you kidding me? What? How did we get... Can't do anything. Maybe I shouldn't have gone so hard in free agency. Oh boy, is there even anybody that? Well, Tom, yes. I mean, I don't want to let that guy go. Romeo Dobbs. I mean, I hate to just let him walk, but Watson too. There's some promising young guys that I'd like to keep. Minus $30 million. Well, I kind of screwed myself. I guess that's the price I pay to start the year 7-0. Well, let's keep moving on and moving forward. Playing the Cardinals this week. Hopefully this isn't the first game we lose. And we don't. We are now 8-0. Answer media question. I feel like it's the best team in the NFL. We'll get to the playoffs and go from there. Taking it one game at a time, maybe 8-0, but there's been plenty of teams that have started off as well as we have and faltered in the postseason. and we beat the Commanders. We are 9-0. We are far out in front of the Vikings. We're going to win the division for sure. There's no doubt about it this year. I will say, going all in this offseason, I think really did help. I mean, we got upgrades at fullback, center for the offense. Jordan Love is probably playing some really good football right now. I got to take a look at stats. I got to see, statistically how everybody's matching up. Well, Love has 21 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Jacobs hasn't cracked 1,000 yards yet, but he's got 11 touchdowns. Receiving-wise, Romeo Doubs is our leader in receiving yards. I really don't want to lose him. Hopkins is doing okay. He's got 9 touchdowns. I want to see how the stats stack up with the rest of the league as far as Jordan Love. Love's middle of the pack, actually. But I think just because this team is pretty well-rounded, I mean, then again, we're playing in a division that this year is having a down year. So that's something that I think is helping us out. We're still stuck at minus $30 million. So I don't know how we're going to get out of that hole. But we may just have to, but we're going to have to restructure a lot of contracts when we get to the offseason, I think. That's going to be our biggest deal. Saints are 4-5. Hopefully this isn't the game that we lose. And we're still undefeated at 11-0. I don't think during any of the rebuilds that I've done, I've had a team start out 11-0 in any season. So this is definitely something I didn't expect. On the bye week this week, let's go ahead and simulate through here. We got the Chargers on deck. Focus player. Let me check and see if we do have any injuries. If we do, they're not impacting us. No, we got no injuries, so that's great. A playoff picture. We got to have the number 1 seed right now. Yes, right now we have the number 1 seed. Eagles and the Saints. And the Vikings are in the playoff picture as the 5th seed, so they likely are. So they're going to probably fight their way as a wild card. They're 8-3, which is respectable, but we're 3 games ahead of them at 11-0. Crazy to say that. And the Chargers are a team that isn't very good. Maybe our schedule's been a little bit easier this season in terms of how good our opponents are, because we've been kind of blowing out some of our recent games. I mean, a 38-17 win over the Chargers with, and then we got the Lions on deck, and then we got the Bears, and then the Eagles, which is probably our next best opponent, and we're just blazing through everybody. If we finish the season, the regular season, undefeated, that's got to be some kind of trophy or something. But I don't know. But we beat the Lions. Then again, it was only by 7, but divisional matchups, you never know. The Bears are not as bad as the Lions. They're 4-9. But I really don't want to drop our first loss to a inferior opponent in the Bears, and we do. So we're not going to go undefeated, but 13-1 is still very, very good. And not only did we lose to the Bears, we lost by double digits. So looks like we had a little bit of a wake-up call. We got a new ability unlocked for Cooper. Okay, so let me add something here. Form Tackler. I'm going to do Form Tackler. And then I'm going to add another one. I'm going to go Run Stopper. Editing his abilities. He's up to an 88 overall, so some of our young players are really starting to blossom right now. But then again, going 13-1 so far will do that for you. And this is our toughest opponent coming up. The Eagles are definitely somebody we're going to see in the playoffs, so kind of would be a good thing if we play the best game that we can against them. But it's going to be tough. But they are coming to Lambeau Field, and it's going to be it's the middle of winter. We beat the Eagles in a 31-30 close win. So we're 14-1. We've got our division locked up. That's what the Y means. So we are locked in with 2 games left. I mean, realistically, we could rest our starters, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let the computer simulate things out and see where we end up. And we did beat the Ravens, so we're still kind of playing good football towards the end of the year, so we're going to have some momentum. And then we got the Lions on deck. Going to playoffs with the best record, but you do have a quarterback that lacks playoff experience. He's played well to this point, but can he lead this team to a Super Bowl, get us into the end zone, or to get us to the Super Bowl? Give confidence to Love. I mean, then again, I mean, he's been in the playoffs a few times. I mean, once, based on this timeline, because we didn't actually make the playoffs last year, even though in real life the Packers did make it in 2024. 15-1. We can beat the Vikings to make it 16-1. They're going to be in the postseason. They probably have more to gain from this win than we do. But we beat the Vikings. They are in the postseason, and we finished the regular season 16-1. Our one loss came to a Bears team with a 6-11 record. So that's going to be basically their Super Bowl. They were the only blemish on our regular season schedule. But I'll tell you this, 16-1 does not mean jack squat unless we do something in the postseason. We're obviously going to have the first round bye. So we've got the Eagles and the Saints, and then we've got the Bucs against the Cowboys and the 49ers against the Vikings. AFC side, the Bills have the number 1 seed. It's the Chiefs and the Raiders, the Ravens and the Dolphins, and then the Texans and the Broncos. So that's the playoffs for year number 2. Let's go ahead and upgrade the staff. We've got 64 skill points to spend. So I want to go and see if I can do some upgrades with LaFleur. So I'm going to do some upgrades here. For sure, we still have 24 points. All right, let's just do LaFleur upgrades. All right, cool. Getting him some good upgrades right before the postseason. Got to play in our favor. All right. So let's go ahead and advance to the divisional round and see who our opponent is. And we're playing the division rival Vikings in the divisional round of the postseason. So wild card round, the Eagles blew out the Saints by 30, the Bucs defeated the Cowboys, and the Vikings went on the road and beat the 49ers. So it's the Eagles against the Bucs. We're going to be taking on the Vikings. AFC side, the Raiders go to Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs, and the Ravens beat the Dolphins. The Broncos, they beat the Texans by 1 point. So it's the Ravens against the Broncos and the Bills against the Raiders. So here we go. This is the easiest road well, I mean, I'm not going to say it's an easy road to take because when the postseason comes, nothing is easy. But we got the first round bye. We're well rested. We're 16-1. We have the best record in the NFC, but we got to play like it, and especially against this man. If you guys watched my last video, you know how much I talked about how J.J. McCarthy was a thorn in my side during the Cincinnati Bengals rebuild. He beat us twice in the Super Bowl.
It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we're on the road to the Super Bowl.
And based on the fact that the Vikings are 11-5 in the first actual season of McCarthy, tells me that that man's going to be a problem for the next few years. Seriously. All right, so here we go on offense, getting everything started. We go Hawkins, first play, and doesn't quite get a first down, but gain of 8 still cool. That's actually,
Here's Josh Jacobs getting his first look on the ground.
Jacobs with the first down carry. There we go.
First down yardage. Love now. Reed's got it.
Ooh, there we go, Reed. Nice move.
He's going to bring it up to the 40-yard line.
Thought maybe he could break that tackle and I could get a first down, but I'll take it.
Second and short.
Remember that Josh Jacobs is our running back, though.
And they'll make the stop up at the 46-yard line. That one ends up a gain of 6. And it'll be first down, Packers. Play fake. It's Love.
Oh, wide open. There we go, Reed. Move inside. Ooh, get off me. Perfect.
And a new set of downs. Offense sure is marching to begin this game. Here's a first down from the 30.
On Hopkins. Corner route. Oh, no. Dropped it.
Incomplete.
That was close, though.
On first, it's second down.
With a stick.
Shotgun now for Love.
Plenty of time. There we go, Reed. Get that block for me. He didn't get it, but Reed was able to outrun everybody to the end zone. We're on the board first to start the playoffs. Ball once again. It's towards the end of the first quarter. Defense is playing good.
Love from the gun.
Or well, I should say. Correct me in English.
This one taken in by Kraft.
Kraft gets the first down. Going to the second quarter.
That'll do it for one quarter
7-0.
of this NFC divisional round matchup. Neither side separating much so far.
Okay.
ready to go with the second quarter. It's the Packers with it inside the red zone.
Pound this.
They'll run. Jacobs.
Not quite to the end zone, but down to the one. And Dobbs is shaking up anyway.
We see some trainers headed out for an injured player who was shaken up. Jacobs.
And Jacobs finds Pater for the score, up by 2 touchdowns. Once again, we're back on offense. Defense got us the ball back. We got a chance to, quite honestly, put this one away early. Don't get it off for the 2-minute warning. That's fine. Right. I want to be aggressive here. I want more points. Dobbs is back in the game after being forced to sit out, but we miss it right there on 3rd down. So we give the Vikings a shot, and they do score to start the 3rd quarter. So they took advantage of us not getting that touchdown in the half. It's 3rd down. I just really want to... But we actually score. Take another 2-possession lead. Back on offense once again.
So now here's 3rd and 5.
3rd down.
Love out of the shotgun.
Yeah, he got bumped a little bit there, but he still gets the first.
And he's brought down. They're going to mark him at the... Great pickup, 16 yards, and now they've got 1st down.
Quarter may expire.
From the red zone now. This throw is caught.
Good catch by Hopkins, gains 8 yards. Going to the 4th quarter, up 21-7 on the Vikings, and we're knocking on the door again. If we score here, we might be able to put this game pretty much away and head to the NFC Championship.
After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short.
And the toss might not have been the best. Yeah. That took too long to develop.
Kate, it's amazing how fast these guys are on the field and how fast your fortunes can turn. 2nd and short run, you're feeling good about yourself. But with a negative play, well, now
run Love.
Critical 3rd down.
Scramble with Love into the end zone, touchdown. Let's go. Right, Vikings do finally get a score. With the hands team, they're going to go onside here with 3:47 to go. And we do recover it with Dobbs. Hands team does their job.
And he's going to get stopped right around the 45-yard.
So now let's just kind of grind out the 1st downs, seal the win.
A new set of downs awaits them. Here's 1st and 10. They stick with Jacobs. And they bring him down pretty quickly at the 10.
They got 1 timeout left. They'll probably use it after this run.
We've got a timeout. That's the 2nd one used by the defense in this half.
Probably use that.
They go counter. It's Jacobs.
Good run, Jacobs. Out of timeouts.
We've got whistles and a timeout call.
Coach is saying pass, but I'm going to go with the inside zone. It's 3rd and 1. We're just trying to pound this football and get the win. And Jacobs does more than that. He gets into the end zone for another rushing touchdown, up 35-14. This game is all but over. We get the ball back thanks to our defense. We can just take knees at this point.
Take a knee on 1st down.
There's still some time to bleed off the clock, but the important factor is that the defense is helpless to stop it.
So this game was relatively easy. Vikings kept it close a little bit in the 1st half, but we did a pretty good job of taking advantage of the opportunities. Really looked like our defense was making plays too. They might have scored a defensive touchdown. I'm not 100% sure about that. But overall, this team is pretty good in all areas already. I know it's only year 2, and sometimes rebuilds can take longer than this, but hey, you know, I felt this Packers team was a few solid players away from being a real Super Bowl contender, and with us and with leading them to the best record in the NFL this season, and having a dominant win to start the playoffs, I think this team, my plan is definitely worked.
What a hard-fought effort to get to this.
So I'm not going to kick this field goal. I'm going to show good sportsmanship, and we're just going to let the clock wind down. We win in the divisional round. We're moving on to the NFC Championship. We beat the Vikings pretty convincingly, 35-14. J.J. McCarthy is not a problem for us in this rebuild, at least this season. So, solid win to get to the NFC title game. Now we are one win away from the Super Bowl, and we're going to be taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the NFC Championship. So a rematch of the 2020 NFC title game, once again at Lambeau Field. The only difference is it's Jordan Love against Baker Mayfield, not Aaron Rodgers against Tom Brady. And the Bucs actually went on the road against the number 2 seeded Eagles, and they beat them in a very high-scoring game, 47-41. God, goodness gracious. They like almost 100 points combined for both teams. That was probably an all-time classic. In the divisional round in the AFC, the Bills defeated the Raiders pretty convincingly, and the Ravens defeated the Broncos by 9 points. So it's the Bills against the Ravens in the AFC Championship, and we're going to be taking on the Bucs. One game away from the Super Bowl. Time to play the NFC Championship game. We're still here at Lambeau Field. Let's get to the Super Bowl. Green Bay has not been there since 2010, when Aaron Rodgers was the man. But it's Jordan Love's time now.
It's the Buccaneers and the Packers under the lights on Sunday night.
So here we go. That Vikings game was pretty much a breeze. But even though this Bucs team, I'm still expecting a challenge. You know, because as long as they got Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans, they can be dangerous. And once you get in the playoffs, there's no more bad teams. That probably wasn't a good idea to run that. The coach wants to go for it, okay. A little bit surprising from the floor here, but he wants to go for it, let's go for it. And Dobbs is wide open for the first down. That's pretty critical for the opening drive because that really keeps the momentum with us. But
3rd and 6 for them to figure out now.
3rd and 6, come on. Oh, just go, Love. Just go, Love. Go, Love. Go, Love. Go, Love. Hold on to that ball. Good. I didn't slide that time, but it's okay because he held on to the ball.
These are the results he's getting. They're going to be just fine with him calling his own number. He does such a good job of seeing the field and knowing when it's his time to take it himself.
Here we go. Hopkins. Hopkins dives for the touchdown. Beautiful. We are up 7-0 early on the Bucs. Once again, our defense makes a stop for us. 3rd and 2.
And for the Buccaneers, it's a nickel look. 3rd down coming.
Here we go. Jacobs. We got 3rd and inches. We're in the red zone. Just need to get a few inches, and we've got a first. Oh, no, that was pretty good. Okay, well, that was actually pretty good penetration, but the offensive line picked it up pretty well. That's why I feel like adding Ryan Kelly in the middle, a good center in the 80s, really solidified this running game. Here we go. Not quite in for Reed. Got close, though.
Same thing for a receiver, especially on a drag route. When he sees zone coverage like that, just settle down.
One, come on. Jacobs, touchdown. Just like the Vikings game, getting up on the Bucs early. Let them know who's boss. This is our game to win.
No connection on the last play, and now it's 3rd down. Loves to throw again.
Deep throw, come on, catch that. Yes, Dobbs. Boom. Now we're lighting up the scoreboard. Beautiful. Jordan Love may be the MVP of this season, for real. I mean, he's playing flawless football right now.
On these 3rd and 7.
But the Bucs are starting to creep back into this thing. Dobbs putting a move on him. Good job. 4th and 8, and the coach wants to take the field goal now. Here's Brandon McManus from the left hash. Bucs are creeping back into this thing, but we get a field goal to go up once again by 10, keep the pressure on them. In the beginning of the 4th quarter, it's 3rd down and 4.
3rd and 4 coming up now. To the air with Love.
Hopkins, you're open. Catch that.
Throw right side.
First down, Hopkins. Beautiful.
And he's tackled with the first.
3.
Second and 3 now. Shotgun give now to Jacobs. And he's dropped just short
1 yard
of
short.
Parker, maybe a yard away. 3rd down, 1 yard to go. On the handoff, here's Jacobs.
Beautiful.
And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
I will say, I'm really surprised that I've been able to move the ball as effortlessly as I've been able to with this team in these playoffs. Running game is on point. Passing game is lighting up the scoreboard with Love. It just took a few little pieces in certain areas to get this Packers team in the playoffs, much less playing like the best team in the NFL, because that's what they're playing like right now.
Again, it's Jacobs. And he's brought down.
And Ricard getting a really solid fullback, and Ricard helped a lot too.
Twice. Here we go, 3rd and goal. A give to
Jacobs is in there again, and we've got this game wrapped up. Let's get the hands team out there. We're still up by 10. All we got to do is recover this onside kick, and that's going to do it. And we recover it. Once again, Dobbs, he recovered the onside kick in the last game, and he does it in this one. And we are going to the Super Bowl. This game was definitely closer than the Vikings game. The Bucs gave us more of a challenge, but we beat the Bucs by 10, 31-21, and we're on our way to the Super Bowl.
2 weeks from now, when they take the field in
it's going to be between the Bills or the Ravens, I believe. That is going to be one of our opponents in the Super Bowl. So we may mess around and finish this rebuild in only 2 seasons, which I'm a little bit surprised about. But, hey, I've lost Super Bowls in some of the recent rebuilds that I've done, and I don't want to have history repeat itself. And we can actually upgrade our staff. So let's focus on our offensive coordinator this time, actually. Give him some points there. We only have 12 points, so we can't do anything else. But Gary Crawford got some upgrades. So now, let's go ahead and advance. And it looks like the Bills defeated the Ravens. So we're going to be taking on the Bills in the Super Bowl. It's going to be the Packers and the Bills. Yep, that is going to be our Super Bowl opponent. And the Bills went undefeated. And it looks like Josh Allen won the MVP. I'm not surprised. So we were not the best team in the NFL overall-wise. The Bills win 17-0. Wow. So they are basically a juggernaut this year. I'm going to take a look at their roster here in a sec. But first things first, we got to check out the yearly awards. Josh Allen won the MVP. Jordan Love did finish 5th. Coach of the Year, Sean McDermott. Matt LaFleur finished just behind him. So this year's Super Bowl matchup is between the 2 best teams in the NFL. Offensive Player of the Year, Amon-Ra St. Brown. On the NFC side, Josh Jacobs finished 5th, and Dobbs finished 7th. Hopkins actually finished 10th. So we had 3 guys in the running for NFC Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, Alexander actually finished 3rd. Rookie of the Year, no Packers. Defensive Rookie of the Year, no Packers there. Best QB, Jordan Love wins Best QB in the NFC. Best running back, Josh Jacobs finishes just behind Saquon Barkley. Best wide receiver, Hopkins finished 5th, and Dobbs finished 6th. Offensive lineman, Elgin Jenkins won Best Offensive Lineman in the NFC. How about that? And also, Zach Tom finished 9th. So we had 2 offensive linemen on this list. Best defensive lineman, Wyatt finished 10th. Okay. Best linebacker, Quay Walker finished 5th. Best DB, Jair Alexander. We got another award winner, Best DB in the NFC. No other Packers on the list. Best kicker, Brandon McManus wins the award with us for the second year in a row. Because I think he won best kicker in the NFC last year. So we had a few award winners. So that's pretty good. So now it's time to finish this rebuild, taking on the Bills in the Super Bowl. Let's do it. I forgot to take a look at their roster before we started, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have the same cast that they had in the first year. I don't think they would have added anybody super significant. I just got to believe that they kept the same core they had last year, and they just went undefeated. So they're the second. So they're the second team. Okay, we are the Giants, and they are the Patriots. We got a chance to prevent history from happening. If we lose this game, we're going to allow the Bills to make history with the 72 Miami Dolphins. There's some big headlines for this Super Bowl. We're going against the MVP. We're going against an undefeated team. We got to play our best football. Josh Jacobs had a fantastic postseason, and I don't want to abandon the running game and the most important game of the season. Good run. I think we got a toast. I want to walk over the points. Reed, come on. Reed, fights his way in, spins off of him, gets in for the touchdown. Perfect. Great drive. Bills get all the way down here. They're on the goal line. James Cook is their starting running back still. They can run here. Okay, it's the end of the first quarter. We're up 7-0, but Bills are knocking on the door. Undefeated team. We're trying to prevent history from being made here. Because the Dolphins went 17-0, but the Bills are going to go like 20-0 if we lose this game. And the Bills get a field goal. They're up by 3. They're back on offense. This is the first time we've trailed in the whole postseason. So unfortunately for us, in these players' psyche, this is unfamiliar territory. But we can overcome this. It's only 3 points too, so. Although I wasn't a fan of the way that I threw that ball to Hopkins. Let's go, Love. Just run it. Just run it. Run it. Run it. Run it. Run it. Run it. Hold on to that ball. There we go. Let's call a timeout.
I might normally ask the cliche, what's going through his mind right now, but maybe the better question, CD, what do you think?
I want to see if we can hit a deep shot.
First-time head coach in this game.
Well, you know it's something that he thought about, Brandon, and he had to, and he was thinking about it
getting that time
before he got to this stage. As the season progressed, and he saw that his team was good, if he was smart, he started to make plans right then and there. Reach out to other coaches who've been there before. Find out how they handled winning,
trying to hit Dobbs.
Handling all the ticket situations, travel, practice, all those things, and then trust your gut, make your best decision, and put it all out there and give your team their best chance to win.
Come on, catch that. Yes. There we go, Hopkins.
He's got a man complete, and he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25.
I'm just going to have to call a timeout and kick the field goal to tie it up before the half. I think that's the only thing I can do. If I try to rush this, it's not going to work. I want to make sure I get the points. All right, let's take that timeout right now.
And we're going to get a timeout.
Let's call a timeout. Just burn our last one. Let's kick a 41-yard field goal. Come on, McManus.
Left here in the half. On is the field goal unit. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. The kick
by McManus is good. So we got this thing tied up at halftime. Very solid. Back on defense. It's 3rd down and 12. Let's force a field goal. It's offense off the field.
Defenses have reigned supreme. Can the defense reign supreme once more on 3rd down? Let's find out. This is Coleman with the ground.
Good stop, D. Good job, McKinney.
First, as he can only
They're going
to about the 19.
All right, Bills get back on top, but it's only by 3. That could have easily been 7. back on offense. Second and 3. Third quarter is almost up, too.
This offense coming up on a 2nd down and 3 to go. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs.
Good run, Jacobs. Way to get that first. Going to the 4th quarter. It's been a low-scoring game. We're down by 3 against the undefeated Bills.
These two teams have had plenty of extra time to make their final adjustments.
Offensive focus,
but
okay.
time's just about up. The final half of the NFL season.
I'm going to go throw it medium.
So let's get
and as far as defensive focus,
here's Brandon and
I'm going to say defend the deep pass because I feel like Josh Allen is going to be slinging that thing for most of his quarter. Make sure that let's try to win. Start 4th quarter. Oh, Jacobs got blasted right there. Von Miller shaking up.
They're looking at a 2nd and 8 now from the 10. Switching things up, they'll throw it now
Hawkins.
with Jordan Love. And he's got him. Got his man on the end round.
Inches, but still, good game.
A gain of 8 there on the play. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
Inches. Oh, no. Oh.
He's not going to get there.
Damn.
Be close. It was blown up in the backfield. And
You got to kick it.
You
got to take it.
So here now is Brandon McManus in a big spot. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by McManus
All right.
is good.
Not what I wanted, but it's what we got from the Bills again. It's 1st and 10.
We drop you back in. Ball
It's
game
there's less than 2.5 minutes to go.
The football already in plus territory. Can they find a way to get the stop?
Stop Cook.
Pretty obvious defensively.
This thing's going to tick down to the 2-minute warning. And yeah, they're not going to get the ball. No, they don't. 2 minutes left. Game is tied. They're in field goal range.
And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run.
I feel like they're going to run it.
Those are the ones you focus on.
So you know what? Let's play the run. Let's play the run. They're definitely going to be running it.
Now Allen. Cook up the gut.
It's a decent game by Cook. Burn that first time out. It's 3rd down.
He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they
This might be a bad idea to overplay the run like that. No, you know what? Let's go. That was a good idea. Wow, okay. The play action almost got me. I thought they were going to throw that, but we stopped Cook short. We're going to force a field, so we still got a chance to go win this thing.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here.
We got 1 timeout left, and we have a decent amount of time to go down this field.
The kick by Bass is
Okay,
good.
so Bass makes the field goal, 16-13. This is where Jordan Love.
So the deficit for this offense is 3 points. Obviously, a field goal.
Jordan Love, this is where you become Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre all rolled into one. A great Packers quarterback. Shoot, even Bart Starr. I'm showing love for the old man Bart Starr. Good job. Good job, Kraft. Way to get out of bounds.
An ideal set of circumstances there. They move the chains, and they save that final timeout. Now Love.
That was not a good idea. I thought I could break that, be able to get a first down. On Hopkins. Dang it.
But it's incomplete.
Sometimes we talk about coverage. We're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is
I'm still okay with. You know what? No, I.
When it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was
They
able
will
to
stay
battle
with
it
the
away.
slants.
Here's Love. Eluding the pressure.
Come on. There you go, Reed.
And he's got a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 30. The clock rolls as the Packers look to hurry things up. Love looking to throw it. Oh,
God,
that's going to
dang it.
sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. Pick made by Terrell Bernard.
Why did I do that?
Midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Well, you knew you had to. Here with the clock winding down, needing a touchdown to win it, and that one might have just sealed their fate.
Yeah, and that's the nature of the 2-minute drill. The offense trying to go downfield and make their plays. But defenses, they're sitting back watching everything that they do, but not too far back. They want to be in position to make a play on the ball, and that they did.
Blew it, guys. Man, this. It's been harder for me to win Super Bowls in Madden in Madden 25 than it was in 24. It straight up has. I've lost multiple Super Bowls in this game. So the Bills make NFL history as the first team in the history of the league to go undefeated for an entire season at 20-0 because they added another game, so I can't say 19-0. They have surpassed the 1972 Miami Dolphins, so NFL history was made. But we were the team that was the footnote to the team making history. I can't believe I threw that interception. Threw an interception with Joe Burrow in the second Super Bowl we got to with the Bengals that basically ended the rebuild. And the tough thing about all this is that we got minus $30 million. How am I going to be able to replicate any amount of similar success that this team had in 2026, in 2025, that they had in 2025 and 2026? I don't know. Well, let's look at the season recap. The Bills have won their first Super Bowl, and they also make history as the first NFL team to win 20 games and no losses. The MVP of the Super Bowl is Josh Allen. He also won MVP of the whole league. Sean McDermott, of course, the coach of the year. Myles Garrett won Defensive Player of the Year. Isaiah Bond won Offensive Rookie of the Year with the Dolphins, and the Defensive Rookie of the Year was Kevin Winston Jr., a strong safety from the Falcons. Well, not ending this rebuild yet with losing the Super Bowl. Let's see if we had any retirements. My guess is that Stephon Gilmore likely retired. Yeah, he did. And we also had Charles Leno Jr. retire after 12 years. Both of those men had a chance to win a Super Bowl, but came up short. Just short. On the plus side, those are two players that we don't have to worry about signing because they're done, taken off the books. But we are still minus $4.1 million. So we're not as in bad of a shape. But we've got to restructure some contracts now. We have to absolutely do that. I don't know how much money we're even going to be able to realistically free up. It's probably not much because a lot of these contracts that we've restructured, we did it last year. But we can restructure Love's contract, which is a good thing. He's actually up to an 89 overall, so that's pretty good. Can we restructure Jacob's deal? Yes, we can. $5.15 million freed up. That's good. Card. Yeah. Yeah, restructure Reed because he's on the last year of his deal. About Wicks. No. Watson's actually up to an 81 now. So you know what? We've got 1 year left on Hopkins' deal. It's maybe a bad idea, but it'll incur a penalty, so no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to trade him when we get to the main part of the offseason. I think that may just be an idea that I have, the thing that I have to do. And I really don't think we can restructure him any more of these contracts anyway, so. Because all these tight ends are in the last year of their contracts. Can we restructure Kelly's deal? Yes, we can. These restructurings are not freeing up much space, though. That does concern me. No. At this point, we got to restructure everybody that we possibly can to free up any amount of money. I'm going to release this guy. We'll keep Glover on the roster for now, because if we can't bring back Tom, then we're just going to have to put the rookie Halski possibly in there. $9.15 million. That's pretty good freeing up by Gary. Ness actually got up to 81 right in these screens. Tuamalo is not that far behind him. It might be worth it to try to trade Van Ness with 1 year left on his deal. I think that might be the move, because I think it'll be time for JT Tuamalo to take over. Give him a chance. Clark. Yeah, we can restructure him. Oh, that'll free up $10 million. That's big. Wyatt is getting better. Roy freed up some space there. Cooper freed up a little bit by restructuring him. Walker. Nope. Can't restructure him. Hopper. I'm actually going to release him. We got 5 corners, and they're all on like the last year of their deals too. What about Alexander? Can we restructure him? No, we can't. We'll release Jordan Jones. We can restructure Bullard. About the backup, Williams. Yes. 20,000. McKinney. Yep. That'll free up $6 million. Good. Oh, Depot. That helped. Release this kicker. We got McManus. Well, actually, we don't. Okay, we'll keep. We're gonna lose Wright as well, so we'll keep this Alex guy. I think I got to release some of these running backs. Dylan Johnson, we're gonna get rid of him. I mean, none of these guys are really getting any playing time, so time to move on from them. You know what, Brooks? I'm gonna do the same thing with you, man. Okay. All right. So we've done, I think, as much as we possibly can. We have $40 million. But we don't have, like, I mean, golly. And I want to bring back, like, almost, not all these guys, but, okay. The highest rated guy is Zach Tom. Exactly the offer I was hoping for. But now we're down to $17 million. So you know what? Unfortunately, Dobbs, you're going to have to go. And Walker, our starting left tackle, you're just going to have to walk. Same thing with Watson, Van Ness. Although I'm not too worried about losing Van Ness because we've got a rookie. Because we got Tuamala, who we drafted last year. He'd come on. The rest of these guys are all depth guys. Although Preston Smith was a starter, but he really regressed. So, yeah, there's no reason to bring him back. And Ricard, we can get another fullback, and we're going to lose both of our starting kicker and our starting punter. But we do have another punter on the roster. We'll just keep him, and we'll just get another kicker, probably a cheaper kicker. We may try to give McManus back. Phil Staff. Do we lose somebody? Ooh, we lost our offensive and defensive coordinators, so we got to hire new ones. Okay, well, let's go and get a new offensive coordinator. Let's see which one I think is the best. Let me see. Were there head coaches who were fired? No, there weren't any. Okay, all right, so. All right, let's see which one of these is the best. All right, let me see what. Okay, so 4-3 cover 3 West Coast zone run. Okay. Jamie Rodriguez looks pretty solid. Let's go and get him. Defensive coordinator, 4-3 cover 3. Find a 4-3 guy. Let's go with Hubert Griffith, excuse me. And player personnel, we got to do that as well. Actually, no, we don't have to. Okay, so we took care of that. So now we got to do some upgrades for all these guys. All right, let's save some for our defensive coordinator. Okay. Jamie Rodriguez and Hubert Griffith are our new offensive and defensive coordinators. I hope that doesn't really change the scheme too much, but we have hired new members of the coaching staff, so we took care of that. I did not know the contracts were going to be up for our coordinators, but we took care of them. And it looks like that despite the fact that Bills just won the Super Bowl, it looks like James Cook is not coming back. So that'll be an interesting offseason topic. He's not going to be a Bill next season. He's going to leave in free agency. Still not over that Super Bowl. All right, well, we got $17 million still to work with, but we're just not going to have enough to keep any of these guys, so everybody's got to walk. We just have to do it. We're letting 2 decent young receivers walk, which, doesn't really make me feel that great. But you know what? Okay. Let me go back to team salaries because I want to see. I think can we now possibly try to trade Hopkins? We can't. Okay, so we have to let all these guys walk and maybe because I want to see if maybe I can get Dobbs back after trading Hopkins. Maybe. But let's see. All right, here we go. In the off season here. Now let's take a look at what we have. Receiving core-wise, I mean, here's the thing. Hopkins is down to a 76, so he's starting to, fade and all right, uncure penalty. So I want to try to trade Hopkins. I know that we traded for him to help out with the receiving core, and he did help, but dropping down to 76, to me, it's it's just a tough sledding. All right, Broncos could use a receiver. I just want draft picks. What about a fourth rounder? We need a fourth rounder for him. Good. Got a fourth rounder for Hopkins, so we got him off the books. I don't know how much this helps with our cap space, but let me see. Because keeping an aging Hopkins who's got 1 year left on his deal, I don't think really helps. All right, $26.5 million now, so that's not that bad. But we're only going to be able to go after low-tier free agents at this point. All right, let me see if there's anybody else who we could possibly trade who's on the last year of their deals that I don't really think I want to keep long-term. None of the receivers. I mean, Jaden Reed is now our number 1 receiver at 84 overall right now. Wicks is not that bad, too, but we used to have a bunch of 80s guys. Now we've only got, one and then one guy who could be another one. I may actually, I think it may be time to trade. Both of these guys are going to have their contracts up. You know what? I think trading Musgrave might be a good idea too, because we don't really need, because one of these guys we'll just get another tight end in free agency who's cheaper. Hopefully that'll free up some space. I don't know how much it'll free up. The Chiefs need a tight end. We're just looking for picks. Let me try to see if I can get a third rounder for Musgrave. Oh, that would put them over the cap. Okay, so we can't do that. What team has any cap room that's decent? Eagles got cap room. They need a tight end. Third round pick for Musgrave. Cool. So let's see what that does with the money that we can spend in free agency. Not much, 26, but so trading Musgrave didn't really do too much to help us out, but it is what it is. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I need to take a look at positions that we don't have any players at least try to fill holes that we have in terms of like no players at those positions. We need a fullback, and I want to go get a cheap fourth receiver. We don't have any left tackles either, so we have to go get a left tackle. Although, you know what? I'm actually considering moving Tom over to left tackle and put the rookie Halski in there at right tackle as the starter, because we need a good left tackle to protect the blind side of Jordan Love. So I think moving Tom over here is a pretty big deal. I mean, a 68 overall still doesn't do it for me. I want to find a right tackle in the 70s to help us deal with that. We'll find a backup left tackle. We'll find a backup guard if we can. Backup defensive ends. So Van Ness is still here? I thought he was... Maybe the computer re-signed him to just... I don't know. That's weird. I thought he was a free agent for sure. Well, I mean... Can I look at his contract? He's got 1 year left. I don't want to trade Van Ness. He's actually gotten up to an 81. So you know what? We'll have him tutor to him for 1 more year. And I am going to move Cox over to left end. I'm going to do that. So we have some depth there, so we don't have to go after somebody in free agency. Defensive tackles, we are in very good shape. I might just cut Roy. They only carry penalties, so no, we can't do that. Okay, so we got to keep him. Left outside linebacker. We need depth at middle linebacker. Hopefully we can get one more corner. Safeties were good. We need a kicker. Okay. Well, let's just see what's out there. Let's see about a right tackle in the 70s. You guys in the 80s, but I can't spend that money. Like a low 70s guy. Colton McKivitz. That then takes down to 21. We're going to get him to be a stopgap right tackle. So we're going cheap here, but it's the best we could do. We need a backup left tackle. Mason Richmond. Let's give you a cheap deal. Yeah, we're his only offer. Basically, everybody in free agency that we're offering contracts to is getting just like one-year deals. And they're cheap too. We're getting guys in the 60s to be backups. Let's get Aaron Stinney in here on a one-year deal to help with our backups. Do two more negotiations. All right, let me take a look and see what depth we have not addressed yet. We need a backup quarterback. And we need a fullback. I want to go get another receiver. Left outside linebacker. Okay. Let's check out the receivers and the left outside linebackers. And we're not really looking for a starter. We could get Amari Cooper again, but I don't think that would really help. Get a scheme fit guy. Get Cedric Wilson Jr. here on a one-year deal. Give us one more receiver. Do one more negotiation. We can look at fullbacks later. Let's check out left outside linebackers. Is Dobbs the top receiver on the market as far as free agency? Yep, he is. But had to let him go. I feel like we could probably bring in Chad Muma to be like a stopgap guy for this season. We're his only offer, so yeah. He would be our starter at left outside linebacker. He would be better than Dumas Johnson, but that's the best that we could do. All right, going after extremely low-end targets in free agency, and every single one of these guys are being offered one-year deals, and that's it. So Chad Muma, Colton McKivitz, Cedric Wilson Jr., Aaron Stinney, and Mason Richmond. First wave of free agency, those are the guys we're going after. All right, let's see if we got any of them. We did get Stinney, Muma, McKivitz. We're still in the running for all of these guys. So let's go after a fullback. See if we can get Eli Wilson to come here on a one-year deal. It's not as good as the fullback we had last season, but considering what's out there, best we can do. Need a kicker as well. Manus has actually dipped a little bit, so. Joey Sly. I have no idea who that is, but he's going to be our new kicker. Okay. So Sly. All these guys are still our target, including Eli Wilson. So we got $4.06 million. I want to take a look and see, are there any other positions where we need possible depth Or, oh yeah, we need a backup quarterback. Almost forgot that. Pretty sure Cedric Wilson will agree on a one-year deal with us. We address left guard depth, so we're good there. Back at middle linebacker. And probably another corner if we can. No, I don't want to do that. Let me go back to free agency real quick, and I want to see if... Okay, so who have we targeted at positions? Oh, yeah, I forgot. We're McKivitz to be our starter at right tackle as a stop for one season as a stopgap player, basically. All right, we need back a middle linebacker. This Murrow. Can't make any more. We can't make any more offers for anybody else. So hopefully we start landing some of these guys. Only got one wave left. All right. Looks like we've got everybody. Well, Chad Muma is still considering us, and so is Nicholas Murrow. But we're their only offers. No other teams have come for them. So I think we're going to be pretty set with our low-tier round of free agents, basically. I think we're just going to draft a backup quarterback. So we'll give Eli Wilson maybe something in the 40s, like a real fullback. He's going to wear Ricard's number from last year as our starting fullback. Wilson. Can't wear 11, but maybe can wear something in single digits. Let's go 15 with him. Battery's running low. Okay. All right, so Tom. So yeah, McKivitz, their starter. Just because Holsky is a rookie, but he didn't play much last season, he's still at a 68. So I still just don't feel that like he's ready to play. And that's the reality. All right. So that's going to do it for free agency. We're just going to simulate. Hopefully we get everybody else that we want. We're down to like 800K, which isn't enough to do any deals. So let's see if we got everybody. So we did get Chad. And we did get Murrow. Yeah, we got everybody that we went after. I mean, they're on one-year deals anyway, so yeah. I want to readjust the number for our kicker. I mean, let's see if I can give him maybe number 2. So he's not wearing Aaron Rodgers' old number. Okay. All right. Now we're going to the draft. It's time to take a look and see what the mock draft is projecting us to do. We're going to have the second to last pick in the first round. And we've got extra picks based on some trades that we made, and they are projecting us to take Tyler Brown, wide receiver of Clemson. We do need help at receiver. We just lost Romeo Dobbs. So I think Tyler Brown out of Clemson might be the guy. Bring him into an already young receiving core and get a new playmaker on offense. If he's there, we'll go with him. Here we are. Looks like Brown actually already got selected. The best receiver on the board right now is Tate, but we're going to go with Carnell Tate. Good pick. Get some help at receiver. We could use some help at running back, but Owens may still be there. So you know what? I'm going to go with Khalil Barnes out of Clemson. Get some free safety depth. Average pick. Okay. Hopefully we have no bad picks. We had no bad picks in the last draft. No, that running back is gone. Mark Fletcher Jr. is there. Jeremy Bernard, let's get some more help at receiver. I'm not opposed to double dipping in a position like that for this year. Especially considering the talent that we've lost in the offseason at receiver. So we need a new infusion of talent there. All right. Jalen Toviano, let's get some depth at corner. Average pick. None of them have been bad picks. And we got extra picks because of trades that we made, so taking advantage of what we can get. Darrell Jackson Jr. out of Florida State. We do need some help at defensive tackle. Let's get some help. Let's get Darrell Jackson Jr. And our first bad pick of the rebuild. Dylan Hazen. We need some help at linebacker. Let's go ahead and pick him up out of Wake Forest. Average pick, so it wasn't a bad pick. That's good. The McCullough guy keeps slipping, but let's bring him in, actually. Bad pick, yeah. We got question marks at a lot of different places. Drew Kendall, Boston College center. Who knows how much longer Ryan Kelly's going to play? Let's get some more offensive line depth. Well, it's a bad pick. So we've had 2 bad picks in this draft. And now we have our 7th round pick. And we're going to go ahead and get a quarterback because we need a backup quarterback. Let's get Cade Klubnik out of Clemson. So we might have had a few bad picks in this draft, but I liked our first few picks. Carnell Tate coming in to be a receiver to help us out with the receivers we've lost. We drafted free safety Khalil Barnes. Jermaine Bernard, another receiver, drafted him in the 3rd round. So we got 2 receivers in the 70s to start out as rookies, so that's not bad. Toviano, Darrell Jackson Jr., Hazen. Klubnik coming in 65 overall for a quarterback is not that bad. And we got extra players in this year's draft because of trades that we made. So let's adjust our roster. Let's take a look at everything. Let's see. I think Klubnik wears number 2, so I might be able to change. Cade Klubnik. I think he wears 2. Does he? Yeah, he does. Okay. So I'm going to change the number of that kicker, because he's wearing number 2, to something else. So Klubnik can get his college number. Let's give him 3. And Klubnik, we're going to give you your college number. Why we did not draft a running back. There was one that was tempting, but we didn't get a chance to pick him. I think Carnell Tate does wear number 17. Yeah, he does wear 17. Ohio State Buckeye, 72 overall. We got Cedric Wilson in here, but getting more receiver depth. Hopefully Tate starts to emerge in the first couple of seasons that we have him. Try to help us get back to the Super Bowl. Drew Kindle. I feel like he's a real player. There's 66. I might be able to move one of these guys over to maybe a guard position or something. Get a little bit of depth on the offensive line there here for the first time in a while. So, okay, can any of these guys maybe be kicked over to maybe left guard for? Well, I mean, we're pretty decent in all the depth positions anyway. We got 4 centers. So you know what? Can I cut Monk and not get a penalty? Free up nothing in cap space, but Monk is just wasting space here, so cut him. Darrell Jackson Jr. Florida State, he wore 14 while he was there. Well, that looks like 6, actually. All right, he can actually wear 6, though. We just take that off of Klubnik. So he can wear actually his college number. Even though he's a low-tier backup guy as of right now. But we'll give him his college number. Chad Muma, 73. Sean McCullough. Oklahoma. We'll keep him wearing 45. Dylan Hazen. Wake Forest. Where's number 24? Well, Valentine's already wearing 24, so maybe I can give him something in the 20s. We're in 40 right now. Let's give him 26. Yeah. Well, this number is taken, so. Khalil Barnes. Clemson. know if 36 is available. Let me see. One of the numbers of Wharton College. Yeah, 36. So overall wise, I mean, this team is not as good as it was last year. Receiving core, I mean, Wicks could be a guy that gets to the 80s during the season, but we had to bring in guys like Cedric Wilson and draft guys like Carnell Tate to make up for the infusion of talent we lost. We still have a pretty solid tight end in Kraft as our starter, but we did get rid of Musgrave, so we lost a little bit there. Tom is now our left tackle. We moved him from right tackle to left tackle because I feel like getting our blindside tackle at 91 is going to be better than keeping him at right tackle. We still have Jenkins. We got a decent center. Our offensive line is still looking pretty good. Outside of our right tackle, McKivitz, that's really the weakest point of our offensive line. Defensive line is still looking okay. Van Ness, on the last year of his deal, I'm hoping that Tuamalo will be ready to take over next season. And we still got a decent amount of defense tackles still go. We got Clark, we still got Wyatt, and we've still got we got Muma. Couldn't really upgrade too much there although he might be a little bit better than what Preston Smith was. And then we've got Cooper still here. Walker's still pretty good. Corners are still pretty good with Nixon. We don't have, of course, Gilmore. But we'll let the younger guys like Valentine and we drafted Toviano and Mullen. Those guys are going to get some extra playing time. Free safeties still looking pretty good. Strong safeties, still got McKinney, still looking good. Kicker and punter a little bit worse. But overall, this team, I don't expect it to take a big step back. I don't expect it to. But we will see because, trying to get back to the Super Bowl is not easy. All right. Well, that was a tough way to see Season 2 end. Lose the Super Bowl. Once again, still trying to get the Packers over the hump. But thank you all for watching. Probably done with live streaming for my 2 days off. Probably will kick back into it next week. But until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.